Not even Xena is a match for the limited edition double-edged lightsaber from Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace.
You removed it from its original packaging.
No! It's no longer a collectible! Oh!
What a nerd.
I bet my Wookiees.
Well, Scotty, now you've done it.
Aye, the haggis is in the fire for sure. But I'll not lower my defenses on the word of that mealy-mouthed gentleman down below. Not until I know what happened to the captain.
Computer. Ah. Hello, computer.
Just use the keyboard.
Losing his mind. And I'm reaping all the benefits.
Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Let's get the camera on. How's everyone doing? Make sure you're saying hello in the chat. A bit out of the norm tonight. We're not necessarily going to be talking about lore and such. It's just a hangout stream. It'll be chill, hopefully entertaining. We're going to be bringing Mrs SKRANS back in for popular demand, so she's got a few things to say on this topic. I'll just quickly go through the chat and see who we've got with us before we get started. First up, we've got Double A saying sup. Good to see you, man. And then I saw this one before the stream. Purist wants us to do a poll. As you know, I'm a noob, so I'll work that out and we'll get that sorted. To be honest with you, Purist, she's leaning towards Lil Mara. She's starting to like the idea of it, so we'll just wear her down. Here's OG Star Wars saying what's up. She's saying what's up Lil Mara as well. So it's definitely a thing. There's the Pro Jack fan saying hello. Good to see you, buddy. Hey, we've got DVS Lord in the chat. Hey man, good to see you as well. And then SWA, hello. There's William saying sup. And we have Seth Carmele. I don't recognize your name, dude. Actually, I do recognize your name. I do. Yeah, I've just not seen you in the chat before. I finally made it to a stream. Good to see you, buddy. And there's Star Wars Luke UK. He's missed the last couple. Good to see you, man. Where's your name? Where's it? Why is it not popping up? There we go. And then we have Vex, the Mr. Glass Initiator. Mara for the win, that's right. And then that's a big name. CJ with the lunch tray saying what's up. Good to see you, man. Thanks for being with us, folks. Let's see. Where do we start? So yeah, Mrs SKRANS has a lot to say about the topic. And as you know, we had an intervention to change her name from the Little Porg because we don't want any of that Disney stuff on the channel, okay? So there's still time. You can put in your recommendations, what we should call her, and I'll stick it in the poll after the chat, all right? After the stream, that should I say. So we'll get her on in a minute. So whether you're chilling with us live or you're catching the live, the replay, thanks for your support. And as I say, we're just going to chill. So grab yourself some Carillion whiskey, some Romulan ale, or if it's too early, grab yourself some calf. But between you and me, it's after 5 o'clock here, so you've got my permission, all right? Basically, we're going to be talking about the stream that Purist had where Theory came in and they had a discussion. Because as a lot of us know, there's been a lot of discussion going on regarding how Theory kind of conducts himself on his channel. in regards to George Lucas Star Wars, obviously he can do whatever he wants on his channel, but if basically, long story short, if you're out there saying that you honor George Lucas, you probably shouldn't be promoting Disney stuff. You know what I mean? So we'll get to that, and we shall invite the missus in. Let's see. There she is. Hello there.
Hello. Back by popular demand.
Yeah, exactly. And she stole my seat as well. So
From Screen Studios, yeah.
Scran Studios, aye.
Mm.
Oh, there's Nasal in chat. Dark greetings, Nasal. Thanks again for coming on stream the other night. It was fun. Purist says, I'm late. What did I miss? He's trying to keep it PG. Oh, cheers, dude. I'm sure Lil Mara appreciates that. That's what I'm saying,
Yeah.
Purist. She's leaning towards your suggestion, so we've been wearing her down. Awesome. Right, so I know you. It was funny because I was telling you about the stream when it happened, because I watched it live and then I saw it again the next day, and then you heard about it and you were like, "What? I need to watch this." And then
Oh, I know. It was such a big deal.
yeah, I'd say so.
Huge.
But you did take some notes, didn't you?
Oh, I took notes.
Yeah. Oh wait,
Halfway
what's
through.
Purist says personally she looks more like Jaina, but I like to hear you say Mara. Yeah, I remember on the Vector Prime stream, it was like my first like live stream with other channels that I enjoy watching, and I was that nervous. I was trying to make a point about Mara Jade, and I just kept saying Mara, 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 and I'm like,
Mara.
they're gonna get absolutely sick of me saying this, but I guess it's the accent does it for them. So right, so I kind of, in preparation, I kind of went through it like linear. Like I've got detail of like the stream linear, but it's maybe best to let you discuss what you want to talk about first, so we don't miss anything that you wanted to talk about.
Well, I mean, I think I only started taking actual notes from I like you too.
It's the fact you're taking your notes and researching. That's what everyone appreciates.
Yeah, it's because it was such a big deal, right? So this is coming from a person. Now I put down my AKA thing as Normie, obviously, because I'm not as rooted in all the lore
The
as a lot of
community
other
lore,
people.
yeah.
Yeah, the lore or whatever. I'm gonna be honest, I haven't seen Star Wars Theory's channel since before I think everything broke out with, like, before Disney released a ton of stuff for Star Wars, but they were still doing I'm trying to think when was the last time I saw it. Do you remember? It was like 2019, 2020 maybe?
Well, we would have been dating still, so it would have been
Yeah.
pretty late on. Oh, it was the Rise of Palpatine was out.
Rise of Palpatine.
Yeah, the last the last movie that they made, the Rise of Palpatine.
The Rise of Skywalker, yeah.
No, Palpatine. So that movie was out, and then I was still watching Theory's channel at that point.
Right.
Actually, it was
Yeah.
It was yeah. So you would have seen a few of his things.
Yeah, I think
Oh, we've lost her. What happened? What did she click at the stage? Where did you go?
sorry, it was asking me for permissions again for some reason.
Oh, well, you have permission. You can stay.
So,
As long as you don't shill too much.
anyways, well, I'm gonna be honest. I'm not gonna be
Oh,
pressured.
honesty's good. Yeah, appreciate that.
So, when it came to hearing Theory before, I think it was just like the fact that we still didn't know anything about how Filoni was more running the Clone Wars series rather
Right.
than George Lucas. So I think when it came, because a lot of his lore, that like a lot of his facts came from that series.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
because even in the video that he's talking about with Purist, we're gonna get into that later. But he goes into how he's more memory based.
Yeah, I
But
remember
in
him
my
saying
head
that.
at that time, oh sorry, go ahead.
No, I'm just agreeing with you.
Yeah, so like in my head at that time, it was kind of like before I had actually known anything about the EU books and stuff like that, I thought he was like so smart. I thought he knew so much about it
Yeah.
all, you know? Because he was like, he was able to watch a series and be like, oh my gosh, I knew that that related with the owl and how the owl was related to, what was her face from the Clone Wars?
Oh,
The
Ahsoka.
no. Oh, it was when Ahsoka saw the owl, and that owl
Oh,
was
it's
related
the
to
whole Mortis thing. Yeah.
the Mortis thing.
The
And
mother,
when
the
I
mother, or
first
whatever it was.
heard that, and I was like, oh my gosh, he's so smart. He knows all this. But now, after knowing a lot more, several years later, and just seeing that he's still stuck in the past with everything a bit,
Yeah.
it just seems like he doesn't actually, like, I've come to realize he doesn't actually know that much about it.
Yeah, I was similar when I used to watch his channel.
Yeah.
Darth Pause says Theory won the debate. Oh, that. I mean, that's
That's
pun
debatable.
intended. That was debatable. um. So yeah, I guess you had a few points you wanted to bring out before we get right into it.
Yeah, sorry, I was just reading the comments. So when it comes to the actual stream, I started watching it, and then I really just started taking notes because I was like, I've got to write down some of my thoughts on this. Like, almost not halfway, before halfway, but if you want to start off with from the beginning of the video, you have some
Oh
notes
yeah,
from that
we'll just
as
get
well,
your
so.
thoughts on it. Because speaking of research, I had to like listen to this again at work today just to like make some points on it. So like basically, in the beginning, where is it? I thought it was like in the beginning when he first comes in, he's kind of hot, isn't he? He's like, I hear you've got a lot to say, like say it to my face, pretty much. And then Purist's just like, oh yeah, I've got loads to say, and he's like, well, say it. And
Yeah,
he's
I think
like,
just like
well,
going in, it
what do
was
you
like,
want? What do you want me to say? And he's like, I don't want you to say anything. Just
yeah.
what do you have to say? It was a bit weird. And then he basically says you're a Disney fan. You don't care about the EU or lore. You plagiarized Wikipedia, and you won't cover George
Who?
Lucas era, but you cover Disney.
When
And
you're
you
saying
call EU
he,
boring, but give Disney loads of chances.
when you're saying
Which is
he, you need to specify who.
what do you mean? Oh,
Who's saying
that's
that?
what Purist said to Theory. All
Oh,
that stuff.
right,
Yeah.
right.
So that's kind of what got us into it. He kind of just told him outright all his issues. You know, he doesn't really cover Star Wars unless it's a grift. You know, like the Kathleen Kennedy getting fired rumors and stuff like that. And then there was the thing with that story about George. You know, have I talked to you about Georgie's TV show that he was going to make that didn't get made called Underworld? It was like Underworld.
That was later, yeah.
It was towards the end. It was just before he sold. So that was something that was talked about at least 5 years ago. And Theory actually covered it on his channel. But then recently he released a video basically saying like, oh, breaking news, like this has just come out and stuff. And it's something he'd already covered. So just stuff like that, like these like misleading titles just for clicks kind of thing. And that's the kind of thing that's bothersome. But you know, it's, I guess, a lot, like there's a lot of clickbait goes on YouTube, and sometimes it can be funny, but you know. Oh, there's Bunt's Books in the chat. Good to see you, man. Bunt's Books does like audiobook and inserts. Is that right? The right word? They're really good.
Nice.
So stop being a shell and start listening to those.
I don't find the books entertaining. Sorry.
Say what? I
It's
know,
not
I
that
know.
I'm
It's
against
hard to
them.
read, huh?
I'm not
What's that?
against them. I'm not against them, okay? And it's
Well,
not
that's why
because
there's audiobooks for you to listen to.
here's the thing. It's not because I'm afraid to read them because they're like big or anything like that or there's a lot of them. It's because when you open them up, the words are actually quite huge on the page. You know, there's a lot of pages because the words are so big. You know.
That's not entirely. Some of them are like that.
Well, I mean, compared to some of the books that I've read, the words are quite big. Or not words, sorry, the font size.
Yeah, I get you. Some of them are a little bit like that.
It's nice though. I like the way it's set up. It's just not entertaining enough to
Well,
me.
since you're going to be going by Lil Mara, we'll get you to read the Heir of the Empire trilogy so you can get clued up.
Okay, I can try that.
Yeah. I'm not going to hold you to it, though.
I'm fine with trying something. I'm fine with trying it out.
Yeah. Okay, we'll start. Or anyone in chat, if you can think of a place where she should start that you think she might like.
The Lil Andor.
Oh, don't give her ideas, pause.
Hey, I do like Andor.
Don't say that out loud.
Sorry.
This is a George
You can
Lucas
like something without knowing
channel.
it's like, without thinking it's canon.
I mean, you're not wrong, but it's not real Star Wars. So in that case, I wouldn't be interested in it, like you say about the books, you know.
I do like comics.
Comics, yeah.
Yeah, it's just about buying them. Howdy Hody Scranner.
Well, you can get online versions that you can read on your laptop.
Yeah.
So then what happened was, yeah, so he baited the underworld thing, and then he kept. I remember you like looked puzzled when this happened, but he kept accusing Purist of like cutting him off when he was talking.
Yeah, there was a bit of that. I think there was like
But
maybe possibly like a connection issue because
yeah, I
it
know
was
from
like
the times I've streamed, like there's sometimes like a delay, like you'll talk over them, but it's not like he was trying to outspeak him or something like that.
no, I don't think it was intentional at all. I think that there was sometimes moments where there would be a slight pause in between saying something because he was still trying to add to it and he wasn't finished yet. And then
Yeah,
Theory would come in thinking that he was done and he
yeah,
wasn't finished yet. So it came across seeming like
yeah.
Purist was interrupting him when in fact he just wasn't finished with his thought.
I think that's all it was, but because it was a bit heated in the beginning, it was a bit kind of like.
Yeah.
Yeah. I need you to read Auditech's comment.
Hello, I just arrived. So it's pippin' and poppin' and flippin' and floppin'. So how's it? Pippin' and poppin' and flippin' and floppin'.
Cheers, Auditech.
He was doing that to shift topic or to throw me off. It's a debate tactic. Like hold more power over the conversation,
yeah,
possibly.
Kind of what I thought.
I mean, I do like to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, that's another point. When you don't have a strong argument, stop talking over me. Yeah, I mean, there's I think, you know, it's a meme, right? He's a nice guy. Like, I think he is a nice person. I've pointed out a few times in my notes. I think there's a disconnect. He does not understand where we're coming from and what he's kind of doing wrong in a sense.
I think it comes to like a point where it's like he likes I think he likes the story that he's made in regards to like how he's perceived. In regards to like the fan base that he has, how they perceive him.
Exactly,
but
yeah.
The thing is that when it comes down to it, he isn't actually what he says he is. Like, not fully. Because he talks about how he's like, we're gonna go further into it obviously, but like he talks about how he's like really big on diving into Star Wars and Star Wars lore and stuff like that, and just repeatedly time after time again, he's not doing it. You know? And there's just so many other things that come up with it as well that we're probably going to talk about. Where it's like, why would you have this if you're saying that you are so for George Lucas and against Disney, and yet you have this, you know?
Yeah, yeah,
And yet he would
the
try
Disney
to like,
like the Disney hilt, Disney character hilts that he has. It's like, well, you say that your fans aren't Disney fans, then why do you feel the need to sell those? Wouldn't it be more, it'd be better for you financially to sell the ones that they do like, you know what I mean? And you're saying that you honor George, but you're selling Disney stuff. But then in his head, he's not selling Disney stuff. He's selling
so should we
Star
just get into that then?
If you want, I mean, yeah, sure.
Okay, so that's when I started taking notes, right? So he started talking about how they both started talking about how he sells specifically Disney character sabers on his
Yeah.
website. Now, this is coming from a person that was just talking about how he's huge on quality, let me just paraphrase it, how saber quality is so important to him, and how he doesn't want to be just another creator slapping on their name, slapping this saber company like on their name on that, and then continues talking about how he sells sabers, lightsabers that are supporting a group that he actively like doesn't support on his channel.
Well, that's the thing. He says he doesn't support them, but he reviews all the shows. He gives them 9s out of 10s.
That's fine. Like, you can review the shows. You can review the shows. You can watch the shows. You can have an opinion about it. But if you're actively trying to progress George Lucas Star Wars, right? And he's like saying, I'm a little bit of a gatekeeper. I consider myself a little bit of a gatekeeper. That's not gatekeeping.
Yeah, you know? it's like he says the right things, but he doesn't do it with his actions. You know what I mean?
Right. Right.
And that's what I felt like during the stream, that because a lot of the stuff Purist brought up, he like completely flipped on things that he's said previously. So it seems like depending on who he's talking to, his opinion changes, you know?
Yeah, it just seems like in certain situations, he'll say, it's almost like he's PR trained, like he's media trained, because he'll say something just enough to appease the person he's talking to, but not enough to answer it.
Yeah, like I think he tries to please everyone, but in doing so, he like rubs everyone the wrong way. Well, not everyone. Then,
it's annoying because
we're not doing this to like trash him or anything. We're just analyzing the
stuff. So I'm basically just going off of the information that I saw in the video, that specific video, because I haven't seen his latest videos. I'm just going off of the information I've seen from him, what he's saying, right? Yeah. So he would take a situation and he'd come off as, and I'm not saying he isn't. He comes off as a really chill guy, and he says like, no, say anything you want. That's why I'm here. That's why we're going to talk about it. And that's awesome for the fact that he came on the stream, the fact that it's public. That's great, you know? Yeah. But at the same time, none of like these questions, like there was stuff that was brought up, and yes, he addressed it. He addressed his view of it. And his view of it is not always even just the answer to the question. You know, he's kind of like when it came to like things like about
beats around the bush a little bit, yeah.
Specifically when it comes to the lore stuff, like asking him, are you going to get into the lore? He never directly answered that. Yeah,
or like Purist would get pretty passionate about the lore, wouldn't he? He'd start talking about stuff, and he'd be like, Star Wars isn't supposed to be like boring. It's meant to be exciting and like epic, and it's not supposed to just be like better than the last trash thing that came out. And then Theory is just like, yeah. Well, and then what else? Like, just goes on to something else. Like, he doesn't. I don't know what it is. He just doesn't have like the passion, it feels like, when it comes to the story.
No, I think he's doing it on purpose. I think he talks about how he's not a corporate channel.
But then later he says that he has become corporate and he doesn't get to do all the things he wants to. You know what I mean? It's like, pick a narrative. Yeah, I'd agree with that, Bunt.
Yeah, like that was the thing. Like he brought up how he can't just have a bunch of the characters from the EU or anything like that, because first of all, I think he was talking about how they're not in big supply, like it's hard to find them.
Oh, you're still talking about the hilts, yeah.
The
So he was
sabers,
saying
not
that,
just the hilts, like just the sabers that he's offering is, yeah, the hilts probably are involved in that, yeah. But
yeah. So the thing he was saying was that each hilt is like really expensive, and then that was Purist's point. It was like, well, why, if they're that expensive, why are you putting out the Disney ones before like the EU
Right.
character ones? You know what I mean? Like, hey, there's Melissa Lord in the chat. Good to see you.
yeah, like that's
Thanks
the
for
thing,
being
like
here.
he's talking about how it's like so expensive, and it's like you don't need to have all of those ones. That's what we're saying. It'd be cheaper. You could take those off.
Yeah.
You know?
It was like I saw he had a video out the other day, and it was at one of the Comic Cons he was at, and one of his fans comes up to him and he's like, "Oh, I've been watching you for years. I'm so happy that like you do all you can to like basically honor George Lucas." And then he's like, "Oh, which saber did you get?" "Oh, it's the Kylo Ren." And he's like, "Oh, you want me to sign it for you?" And I'm like, "Dude, you can." I don't think he connects the dots there.
Well, that's the thing. You can do that. You can sell Disney lightsabers. You can do that. But don't advertise yourself as a person who only explicitly goes for George Lucas Star Wars. In that case, if you're selling both Disney and George Lucas stuff, don't advertise yourself as exclusively George. Because you're supporting what Kathleen Kennedy is putting out, because she's ultimately responsible for all that.
Yeah.
I mean, she's ultimately, and he's, oh my goodness.
Exactly.
Every time he brought up Kathleen Kennedy and like his thoughts on that. Okay, anyways, we'll get into it. But like that's the thing, like you can have a preference, especially when I really liked when Purist pulled up how that screenshot of that message that Theory had put out, or I think it was like a tweet or something, saying, "Do you guys want more lore content?"
Yeah, 81% of his audience said yeah.
Yeah. It's like, and then he said, "I'll be putting out more stuff on that." It's like, okay, well, you can have a preference. If you don't want to put that stuff out, that's fine. But don't tell your fan base that and then not fulfill that. You know, at least update your fan base saying, "I don't have enough time to do this anymore. This is not something that I can do." You know, like at that point it's just misleading your fans.
Yeah, and that was like, we're skipping quite a bit ahead here, but that was kind of like Purist's point. He's like, you can do whatever you want on your channel. Like, I can't tell you what to do, but if you promise something, you should probably follow through on it, you know?
Yeah, or at least update everyone to know that you can't.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like if you're busy, we get that. Life happens, you know, like especially because he's got such a big fan base. He's got a whole business. He's a bigger channel. It's understandable that he wouldn't have time, but update your audience saying, especially when most of them is saying that they'd rather have that and now they're expecting it. Let them know that you can no longer do that. You know, rather than stringing more people along and leaving them to dry, you know, leaving them out to dry.
Yeah, cool kid. I think that's kind of where I'm leaning.
Yeah, I don't think he was intentionally trying to deceive them, or maybe like
he just. I think at the time, I think he says things at the time that he thinks you want to hear, and then if he can't be bothered, he just won't do it. You know.
Yeah, I mean, well, it's either one or two things. Either one, he wasn't intentionally doing it on purpose, or number two, he was trying to do that to lure in the people part of his fan base that was there for the lore content.
Yes.
To keep them there longer. So it's either those, you know, one or two options. You know, like.
A bit of both, maybe. Right. So let's reel it back a bit because I took all these notes and I don't want it to like be pointless.
Yeah, go ahead. That's fine.
You know, because I don't have time for this, guys, and I've spent all this time writing all these notes. So where were we? Yeah, I noticed that when he first came on, he kept calling Purist by his real name as well. Like, I thought that was a bit odd, considering they'd never really spoken before.
With who, sorry?
Theory kept calling Purist by his real name.
Did he?
And yeah, and then...
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I thought that was odd. And then it came out that he'd been calling people, asking about him and stuff like that.
In this video?
Yeah. Yeah, I know you say your own name, but I just thought it was weird when Theory came in and was, like, addressing you that way.
Maybe he isn't aware people call him Purist. I don't know. Or Marvel Purist. I don't know.
I just call him Purist.
Yeah.
Skran, you are describing the traits of a manipulator. Theory isn't a good guy. We're not all as savage as Darth Paws, but I'm getting there. I'm turning to the dark side ever so slowly. But yeah, it's because I'm not wearing my glasses, man. I can't read. That's yeah. It was accusing him of talking over him. Oh, that was when Purist said he was like, "Dude, this is my stream." He's like, "I'm not Levi. You don't know this lore, Lil Mara, but Levi was like a guy that went on to. He was invited onto Theory's stream with a bunch of other kind of shills, right? And then, oh, we know that, OG. We know you're a savage. Skran's too generous. Yeah, for now. But basically, this guy decided to use that as his opportunity to like call Theory out and stuff like that. And then Theory like just like went through him because he was just like an up and coming channel and stuff like that. Theory like went through him. It was hilarious. But yeah, Purist just like I'm not Levi, by the way. You can't talk to me like that just because you're a big channel. And then that's where the whole thing with like, oh, Theory says all you care about is like channel size and subscribers and stuff like that and views. And it was just like that's all you talk about basically. All you talk about is views and like he said you lie about me on your streams and stuff. If you watch Purist's channel, he always has receipts. He always has evidence. He doesn't just say he's not a liar, basically.
Theory.
Purist.
Oh, right.
But Theory was calling Purist a liar. And
Wait, sorry, a liar in what aspect? About?
Because he said that he'd been lying about him in videos.
Oh.
But it's
you
all.
called him a liar?
Well, he said that he lied about him, which is calling him a liar, yeah.
I think he might have said that at one point, but he'd also talked about like later on. I think it became more calmer.
Yeah, like this whole like the point is he's saying all this stuff, and then later he comes back and he says, "Well, I actually don't think you're all about views and clicks." And it's like, well, why did you lie and say that when you did, you know? But if you watch, I don't know if you've ever caught one of Purist's like normal streams, but it'll take like an hour, right? He'll have his intro. He'll talk to the chat for a bit. He'll catch up on chat. He'll then spend some time on the funnier topics, like exposing like shills and gatekeepers and stuff. And then what he'll do is he'll spend like 3 or 4 hours literally talking lore, reading comic books start to finish. You know what I mean? He spends most of the time sharing the good stuff than he does talking trash, basically, you know? But people just see it as he's like grifting off of Theory's name. And it's just not the case. Let's see what chat's saying here for a minute. I smash the like or pause will get you. Pause is back for now, so we don't want him to hurt us. We don't want him to hurt us like he hurt Echo Base Network.
Well, yeah, I think the next level he was probably talking about was probably
that's right.
lawyers getting involved, possibly for defamation or something like that.
Oh yeah,
but,
I think you're like you're at the right stage. So that's when Theory threatened to bring it to the next level. And he actually did that months ago on X. He said, if you don't stop, this will turn bad for you, basically. He threatened him. I guess with like legal action. But then I'm thinking like what do you think he means by that?
With legal action, he could probably try to, well, I mean, you have to first try to speak to each other like he did in that time. And if it's still, things are probably still unresolved. I mean, you could still sue somebody for defamation without speaking to them.
Yeah, but then that's what I thought you might say. So then surely Disney could sue Theory for defamation for all the times they like supposedly calls them out, you know?
Yeah.
Calls them trash, calls them like, yeah. And rightfully so.
Right.
Disney Star Wars has done a lot of damage, not just to the brand, but like to actual fans as well. You know,
Are you saying he should be more like Disney?
What was that?
Are you saying he should be more like Disney?
Who?
Theory?
No, I'm saying obviously they're not going to sue Theory for defamation because he hasn't done anything wrong. He's just called them out.
Okay.
Whereas Purist is doing the same thing. He's not lying about him. He's exposing things that he perceives to be dishonest and disingenuous.
Okay, but without this being against Purist, if this was just purely about somebody going off on someone, there's a difference between a corporation and an individual.
Yeah, but Theory's technically he's a corporate YouTube channel. He has a business. He'll say it's not his livelihood,
yeah.
but it kind of is.
Yeah, but I mean, you still have more control.
And then
I guess.
It comes up later about that, but like he'll say it's not, he doesn't view it as his livelihood, but then when people were trying to cancel his channel, he outwardly said like they're trying to like take away my livelihood. You know what I mean? Again, just saying things to get a reaction at the time, you know. And that's when I see in chat they're bringing up the plagiarism thing. So Purist called him out for plagiarizing. You know, like Wikipedia has all like the Star Wars information and stuff like that.
I mean, he went into it and was talking about quoting is different than plagiarizing, but I do understand the thing of taking it as your own idea.
Yeah, so he never cited where he got it from. So he made it seem like it was his knowledge, but literally just read it word for word, which is plagiarism. It's like handing it. It's like doing your homework, but taking it off like a page on the internet.
I mean, I have conflicting things with that because I feel like it doesn't really matter where I get my information from. I don't have to cite every single source I've read it from.
You don't know, but if you're...
I know that he was reading it word for word, that he was reading multiple paragraphs off of the Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's not like sometimes if I do like a history of video, I'll maybe start with Wikipedia and I'll find some sources and then I'll branch off to those. But you don't just take it like an entire paragraph and like put it in... He didn't even put it in his own words or anything.
I know, I feel like it's just a preference.
It's somebody else's work. And then he did the same... It's
not really... And it's like Disney shows, isn't it? Don't they run the Wikipedia?
Oh yeah, yeah, they're horrible. I've been in a conversation with one of them who actively changed it while I was talking to him, just to be right in a conversation.
When Purist mentioned that he did actually have some stuff from like some of the books as well, like actual quotes from the books in his own movie. Like
if you turn around, there's one called Dark Lord: The Rise of Darth Vader. He took lines from that and put it in his movie.
Yeah.
But he didn't say that's James Lucino's work. He didn't write that.
Yeah, I mean, at least like if you're gonna come from that, say like I was inspired by different things from this book that help, like put it off. Like a lot of people would love to eat that up, but you have to say it.
Yeah.
You know, like you can't just pass this off as your own thing. You can like people would love to hear that it was inspired by the books. You know, people would love to hear that. Especially if you're trying to make fan movies, fan films, like you're doing that as a fan. People are going to want to see that it's inspired by the real thing as well.
Mm-hmm.
So the fact that he was passing it off as his own, I think that's definitely an issue, being with plagiarism.
Yeah, it's like you say, he likes the perception from his fans of being knowledgeable. So he's not going to go out there and say, I didn't know this, I got it from here. he's going to pretend like he already knows it, you know? Sorry, I was just looking at the chat there for a second.
I'm checking
so
now.
then, and then Purist basically called him out for deleting his Last Jedi review.
Mm-hmm.
And he put the video in the one you would have seen, where
Oh, yeah.
Theory was like, "No, I didn't. Like, what video are you talking about?"
Oh,
And
that was
it's
so
like,
cringe.
I
Was so
loved the film.
cringe.
It was a good film.
There was like, in that scene where like he had said that he had liked specifically something that Luke did.
You know the scene where Luke's trying to kill Kylo Ren in his sleep?
Yeah.
Which is like the complete antithesis of what Luke would do.
That's a big word.
The antithesis. So that's like not something Luke Skywalker would do. He was saying, "Oh, I would go back again just for that scene alone." You know what I mean?
But he can. Oh, I'm just looking at what Purist just said.
I can get it up here. He has gone back and put theorysabers.com on all his old videos, but he can't go back and cite sources on some of the old videos. Yeah.
Mm. Oh my goodness, can we just talk about this real quick? He had said that he doesn't have the time to read a lot of the books. And he doesn't have time to do actual lore videos, and that's why he's had to do the thing off of Wikipedia or whatever, where he's just reading off
But
paragraphs. Here's the thing.
those are old videos though. He had more time back then.
Even if he didn't, because life can get in the way, and sometimes we don't see what goes on because we only see what happens on the screen.
It's true.
So even if something was happening behind the scenes, with having a bigger channel, the best thing about that, you can collaborate. You can invite people who do know the books onto your stream and bring attention, like they were talking about, the algorithm. He helps with, he even admitted, he aids and he helps with the algorithm. Bring people on your stream that can talk about the book if you can't. You know, there's no excuse for that. That's fine if you can't read the books, but help and boost the algorithm by promoting not only smaller creators who do have more knowledge about this. You don't even have to go smaller. You can even just use bigger names like Purist. You can even use Purist channel and invite them on the stream, and where other people will be able to actually speak about the lore and be able to talk about the books.
Yeah.
And dissect it in places and ways that Theory couldn't.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Are you seeing this, by the way? We just got you to start using Lil Mara, and now he's calling you Lil Jaina. Can he make his mind up? Yeah, he can't find time to read the books, but he can binge an entire TV series. I'm still only on season 3 of Babylon 5. You know what I mean? I find it is hard finding time to do things you want to do. It's like watch Babylon 5, read some EU novel, and whatever else. It's like it's hard to divide your time up. But
yeah, that's fine.
If you're a fan of something, you find a way. Like
of course, like he couldn't read the books, but his fan base was asking for it. So the least he could do is bring somebody on his channel who can. You know?
Yeah.
And that never got answered. That never got answered. It was brought up repeated times. Like, even at the end of the video. Like, Purist was like, so, what do you think about bringing in more lore videos? Completely patched. Like, never answered.
Yeah. It was
just beating around the bush, like, oh, yeah, you know, it would be nice. It would be nice. It would be nice does not say, yes, I will do it. Yes, I plan on doing that.
Well, even if he did say that, he probably wouldn't follow through on it, and that's just from the way
I like giving people
done it in the past. Like, you got to follow through on stuff, or people will stop believing what you're saying. You know?
Yeah, I think.
And then he brought up. This is where he brings up that Theory was formerly like an actual show. Like, he was getting access from Disney. He was getting flown out to premieres of video games, and they were sending him stuff, and But like it was funny in the stream because like he was like what are you talking about? Like no. And then he showed the clip and it's him like thanking Disney and Lego and stuff for
Yeah, but those were
supporting
old,
him.
weren't they?
Yeah, they're old, but it still happened. But he acts like it didn't happen, and he'll
Yeah, but he's
criticize other people.
blacklisted now.
He'll criticize other people that do get access, and it's like you were literally one of those people, you know. I don't know why he's blacklisted, because
I do.
why?
His main topic is Kathleen Kennedy.
Dude,
Of course
he
they're gonna
probably
blacklist
does.
him.
He probably does Disney a favor, like talking
She's literally
about
like
all
the
their
head,
stuff.
and you don't think she would blacklist him?
I don't think she even knows about him.
I think she does. He's actually admitted he's the biggest Star Wars channel on YouTube.
Yeah, I mean that's true.
So she knows about him.
Like I think like back in the day, like original Lucasfilm probably weren't watching like YouTubers, but like I think the people they have working there now are kind of the generation where they are, and they are aware of what's going
The
on.
PR team
maybe.
or something, yeah.
Oh, their PR team's horrible.
Yeah.
Wait, someone was. Yeah, I think yous are probably right. They probably are aware of him.
Yeah.
They're probably aware of him, but like, what do they care? Is more my point. Like, why would they care about some YouTubers saying?
Well, because
When he's actively
he's,
like doing them a favor, you know?
he's helping the algorithm. So they care about the algorithm.
But all these like grifter channels help each other out. Like the shills and the grifters, like they kind of play off each other.
Well, as well, and just as you
True,
mentioned as well.
sorry, that's a good point. They was getting paid, so they probably do know about him.
Yeah.
Good point, Pause. Hey, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here a little bit.
Devil's advocate.
I mean, in that case, I probably never mind.
What?
I'm just like I wouldn't actually advocate for the devil, so.
Okay.
Where are we?
I have a quote that I really want to say, but I think it's past the point that you're talking about, probably.
No, go for it. Go for it. The whole point is to get your point of view. No one cares what I'm saying.
Ah, that's literally your channel.
This is you're in this the Skran.
It's okay. Never mind.
video.
I changed my mind. This is
The
I'm in the
Skran
hot
cave.
seat. I'm in literally the hot seat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I had made a direct quote of what he said in this video, and it like blew my mind that he even said this. Okay, so this is actually coming directly from Theory. Okay, the best way that I can actually make any sort of difference is through that fan film.
Oh, that was later, yeah.
Through the fan. That's the best way you can make any difference in Star Wars is through your fan film. Okay.
Yeah.
It's like you can sorry, wait, there's so much to dissect on this, okay? So you can make a film, but unless you're saying that like the script was approved by George Lucas, like it's not canon and it's not actually making a difference, you know? It might be helping the fan experience, but it's not making a difference.
Yeah. It's like the point in his thinking there is that he thinks if his fan film like unites all these like normie fans, Disney will take notice and they'll make something similar and they will like start turning a corner and fixing Star Wars. But the whole point is they can't fix it. They already ruined it. It can't be
He's very
fixed
deluded
unless
with that fact.
it's delusional because all these people live in this weird like fantasy where like they love like the like fanboy element of like, oh, what if this happened, what if that happened. It's like that is never going to happen. It's not realistic, it's not logical, it's never going to happen.
Like he's like talking as if like making this fan film will help to keep George Lucas Star Wars alive. And it's like, no, you know, the way that you can actually keep George Lucas Star Wars alive is by not selling Disney characters lightsabers, sorry, on your Saber Forge, yeah, your Saber website. And maybe start actually promoting George Lucas lore.
Exactly. Like you're getting it. You're getting it. Here, look, Soul Assassin says I look like a 1920s archaeologist.
No, because I said when he got those glasses, I said he looks like Milo from Atlantis.
Yeah, Atlantis. And then Nazo says I've discovered the Stargate. What's his name? Is it Daniel? What's his name from Stargate? Daniel.
Daniel.
Something.
It's Daniel. Something.
Isn't he a linguist?
He's a linguist and he does like Egyptian. He knows Egyptian.
Yeah. That's an. Do you want to start watching that show with me? Start SG1.
Dude, how are we gonna get it? It costs money. We've got the actual movie on VHS, and
Daniel Jackson. That's his name. Yeah, we can find out how to.
Because I love that movie. That movie is amazing.
The movie is really good.
Yeah.
Maybe we could.
Well, I got it on VHS.
Oh, you're talking about the original movie, yeah.
The movie, yeah.
Maybe we could talk about that on a stream one time. That's a good movie.
Anything, what's it called? It's fiction, but it's space.
Science fiction?
Gosh, science fiction.
Okay. Right, okay, let's see. Oh, did you notice
sorry, go ahead.
So do you know, have you seen the people that Theory streams with? There's two guys he streams with.
Again, I haven't seen any of his. I only watch his watch party ones.
Oh, because they kept Purist kept like calling them by their nicknames in front of Theory. It was pretty funny.
Who did Purist kept? Oh yeah, I saw that. It was funny because he was saying Star Wars Explained, and then as soon as Purist said Sixplained, then he started calling him Sixplained.
Yeah, that's a Knights of Melvin thing, but it was funny because my thinking was like, why aren't you like defending your friend's honor right now? Like
Well, it wasn't about them. I think that's why.
Yeah, but he's calling the dude's friends like names in front of him. I'm like,
it's about picking your battles when on a stream. I think that wasn't an issue for him.
It doesn't matter though. Like if I had someone else on here that started like calling you names, I'd be like, right, like
that's because you're easy to trigger.
Not easy to trigger. I'm a chill, nonchalant person. I'm nonchalant.
Yeah, I think you think you're nonchalant.
Okay. I think we're done with that part.
I have another note here.
Oh yeah, this is that was alright. Sorry, on you go. I keep butting in.
Go ahead.
So yeah, this is where it got to the point that you were talking about the algorithm, right?
Right.
So like Theory's own logic is that bigger channels feed the algorithm. So if he talks about EU and original Star Wars lore, that would actually be beneficial and it would help smaller Star Wars channels. But he's choosing not to do that because he says that it doesn't get him the clicks, or like not that it doesn't get him the clicks, but that people aren't interested in the lore. And that was only after he got called out for having ghostwriters. So it's not that people aren't interested in lore, people aren't interested in ghostwritten lore, like from someone that's not reading the stuff. You understand?
Well, it's not authentic. It's not genuine. And he was talking about being genuine. And it's like, you're not being genuine to your followers if this lore that you're talking about isn't coming from you.
Yeah. I would have, Purist, I would have said the nickname on stream, but I don't want to be a hypocrite because Mrs SKRANS always giving you a hard time for...
Yeah, no swearing in the chat, guys. Remember, no swearing in the chat or you'll get timed out. You'll get sent to, I don't know, you'll be bantha fodder. I don't know.
Bantha fodder? Bantha poodoo?
Jedi poodoo.
Jedi poodoo? Oof. Which Jedi? Yoda?
No, I think it would be such a plot twist for Sebulba to come back as a Jedi.
Oh, you're getting all fanboy on me now. Wouldn't it be so cool if Sebulba came back and he had like a he dual wielded some lightsabers and they were red, guys. Maybe he had a red one and a purple one, and then who knows? Maybe he goes up against Kiari-Mundi like 200 years before he's born.
Yeah.
And then that would mean that Sebulba is 200 years older than he's supposed to be as well. How crazy would that be? Maybe they use the World Between Worlds to do it, like proper time travel. And then, whoa, what if Sebulba did that, right? And like fixed the entire Star Wars timeline. He just like erased everything that Disney made, retconning the sequels. How cool would that be? Do you agree with me?
I feel like you're trying to.
He's a great Jedi, right? He is the balance in the Force.
You trying to be theory or something?
No, I'm just theorizing.
The balance in the Force. Oh, that's a different issue.
Oh, we're not right, dudes. We talked before the stream. We got into the balance of the Force debate again.
And don't even get on my case, Nazo, because I watched your video.
Yeah, she watched your video and she still wasn't convinced.
I'm not convinced at all. In fact, I'm still have the same issue. So.
Let's see.
Okay, I'm going to say something.
Yes, before I'm on a new page here. So. Okay,
so he kept on speaking about how if we have a chance if Kathleen Kennedy leaves. And he was like, Purist, don't you think do you think that like Star Wars is now just screwed or whatever, you know? Here's the thing, at the end of the day, she's never gonna leave. At least anytime soon. It doesn't matter how much hate you throw her way. It's Disney. They're prideful. They're stubborn. They're not known to bow to their fans every other whimsy. Even if everyone came up against them and said, hey, like they did the same thing with Snow White. And we're not even going to go into that. So many people laid into them about how they didn't like certain aspects of the movie. They wanted them to change it. They didn't even change it to the correct thing. They didn't even change it correctly. They just did whatever would appease their own audience, like whatever message that they were trying to send out. And the message that they were sending out, tons of people didn't like. Most people didn't like, you know? Yeah. So everyone saw Snow White as like, I don't know, crappy film or whatever. Or most people, I should say.
It's that hopium of like, it could get, I have hope that it can get better. But then he'll admit that when Kathleen Kennedy leaves, nothing's going to change. So like, I guess there's always hope, but it's like hope for what? Because it's never going to happen.
Yeah, and then it's like, let's say she does leave, right? The damage has already been done to Star Wars. Yeah. Let's say the greatest thing happened. Okay, Kathleen leaves. George comes back in.
Oh, George has never come.
The sequels were still made. Guess what? The Mandalorian, all these other things were still made.
Mm.
And you can't take that back. You know?
Unless you erase it all.
It's messed up. Well, I mean, look at what happened. They tried to erase the books for George Lucas, and people still view that as canon.
Well, yeah, because you can't.
See? That's what I'm saying. Once it's out there, it's out there. They messed it up. They ruined it.
Yeah.
There's no going back.
Like, thinking about it right now, they probably don't even have to erase that stuff because it already doesn't count. Like it already doesn't count. So just sell the property and just don't continue that continuity.
It's just, I feel like it's so pointless every time that he brings up this thing with Kathleen Kennedy but don't you think, you know, we have a chance? Like, do you think that we'll still be able to like fake Star Wars? And it's like, I don't know where you're at, because most of us are down here on Earth where we can actually see that it's been messed up. And it doesn't matter who's in charge of it now. It's all been made.
Yeah. Here's your chance to explain Star Wars to Dan Blackroyd.
Oh my goodness, Dan Blackroyd, I have just the thing for you. Because on this one occasion, I'm going to show over live stream the one and only movie George Lucas ever put out. Episode 1. One because it's the one and
only
only.
Star Wars movie. You had
The
other
best.
movies.
The best and the only. Just for you, Dan.
There you have it.
There you have
Saga
it.
of
Somebody
One
had
is complete.
Saga 1.
Episode 1 of 1. Yeah, I never know how to answer this question. Who could they sell it to?
Well, why would they sell?
You're welcome, Dan.
Wait, go back to that comment.
Wait, Star Wars can be saved if Skran, aka Rick Moranis, takes over. Do you know who that is? The Little Shop of Horrors guy. The nerdy guy.
Oh.
He's implying I look like him, which is
Yes, I
accurate.
get that. Isn't he from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids as well?
Yeah, and you're married to him, so you're welcome.
Wait, are you talking about Seymour?
Yeah, Seymour.
Okay.
Is this the comment you wanted to see?
Yeah, whoever gets it next will never come close to it. Yeah, I don't think they'll ever sell it.
Yeah. Oh, here's a better example. Spaceballs. You know, the guy with the big helmet.
Dude, Spaceballs is a fever dream.
Oh, you made it like halfway through, you fake fan.
I can't watch Spaceballs. It's horrible.
It's not horrible. You just didn't.
It's
grow
a
up with
guy's
it.
movie. It's guy humor.
It's hilarious.
It's not funny. Not to me, at least. It's not funny to me. It's just.
Well,
it's like.
There's another
stupid
idea
humor.
for a future Mrs SKRANS stream. We can watch Spaceballs.
I thought you were saying for the future, Mrs SKRANS. I'm like, sorry. Am I being
Well, if you're not going to watch it, I don't know if this is going to work out.
All right, see ya.
Where did we get to? Were you finished with your point? Sorry.
I've got more.
You got more?
Wait, bring that back up. Bring up that comment, sorry.
You're not wrong.
She's
It's a
not
humor
wrong.
thing for male audiences. Yeah. But it's time. Spaceballs is like Star Wars. It's timeless.
Timeless.
I think Spaceballs is a really good parody. I think
Greatest
It was
parody ever.
it was just like a spoof. It was just made a little bit too late, I think. Oh man, what's the guy's name? Emma, who's the guy that made
Oh, thanks for that.
who's the director that made Young Frankenstein? And High Anxiety and stuff like that. Oh, what's his name?
Oh, what is
The
his name?
The producers. Mel Brooks. Thank you.
Mel
Thank you,
Brooks.
Melissa. Thank you, cool kid. Yeah, I think Mel Brooks just made Spaceballs a little bit too late. He should have done it earlier. Because you know he's doing another one. Spaceballs 2.
Yeah, you're
And
right,
it's-
Purist. Papers are in the mail.
And I'm telling you, they better not go to ludicrous speed from Atmosphere. They better not break the lore. I stole that joke from Dan Blackroyd. It's really funny.
Okay. Yeah, I'll just stop there.
Yeah, my favorite Mel Brooks movie is Young Frankenstein. It's arguably like my favorite movie on any given day.
Young
Hilarious.
Frankenstein is really good, yeah.
Now, Blazing Saddles is the one I haven't seen that I really need to watch. I'm sure you've seen that one, haven't you?
I don't remember. I've got a really bad memory. I probably have. I don't know. I have
Are
no
you
idea.
sure it's not a 7 out of 10?
6, 7? 6, 7.
Well, the thing, Soul Assassin, is Spaceballs 2. I read that Mel Brooks was talking to someone that. Oh, who's that guy?
Are they coming out
Emma,
with?
you know the guy that does the voice to the snowman in Frozen?
Yeah.
Him. He's the one that's writing Spaceballs 2. And Mel Brooks is relying on him, and it's going to be like focusing on like the Star Wars Disney sequels. So it's going to be terrible. I'll find the article. It was, it's going to be horrible.
Wow.
Josh
Why?
Gad.
Has he ever directed a movie? Wait, what is he doing? He's writing it?
Yeah, he like met with Mel Brooks and talked.
Has he written other things?
I don't know, probably terrible things.
Okay.
The thing, and there's that whole skit in. There's that whole bit in Spaceballs
Yeah, that's it.
where they're talking about like Spaceballs sequels and stuff, and the merchandising.
Dang, Melissa, you really know your stuff. Wait, is Melissa from...
Melissa knows everything, huh?
Is she from Ezra's channel?
No, she was like the first ever member of the Spacing. I'm pretty sure she's been around a long time.
Oh.
First time seeing her in my chat though. I'm privileged. Thanks, Melissa. Did he do the Angry Birds movie?
Who?
The guy, Josh Gad.
Josh Gad?
No. You're going to be all about it then.
I don't know. I don't think so. I do like Angry Birds though.
Anyway,
the first one. The other ones are weird.
Anyway, let's get back. We've been going an hour. Let's get back into it.
Okay.
So there was a really funny part where Theory accused Purist of talking over him again, and then Purist is just like, right, well, on you go, and he's like, oh no, I finished, you go, and it was like, so he like cut him off just to say like it was his turn to speak anyway. I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah, he said he doesn't do lore videos because of clicks. He doesn't view YouTube as a source of income. We talked about that. Complete nonsense. He accused Purist of... Wait, what was this? Yeah, he stated that it was his livelihood, and also like I remember being on his channel, and like a lot of the super chats were going towards Vader too. So like, it is a source of income and like your livelihood. You know what I mean? Making the thing that you think's going to like save Star Wars essentially. And then he started accusing Purist of making similar, like the same arguments as like Explained and their fans and Acolyte fans, which doesn't mean that they're not true, but a lot of people that are fans of the EU and defend it get lumped in with like these people, like the Shills and stuff. Pardon me, especially when you call out grifters and fence riders, because they cannot fathom why you are calling them out. They're not used to people talking to them that way, because they think that they're like George Lucas purists, basically. Yeah, deflection tactic. So Theory still doesn't understand where Purist and others are coming from. He feels he's fighting for the same thing, which is George Lucas Star Wars, which he's proven not to be the case, as we've discussed.
That's one of the things that you had mentioned. He was talking about when they were talking about the sabers as well. He was saying, I don't make money off of any of this crap. He was like saying, all of this goes straight to my film. Okay, yeah, so once again, proving that he is using the people that buy the Disney character sabers to fund his film. Like, that's what we're saying. Like, there's nothing wrong with that in the essence of it, you know? But you have to admit that. And he doesn't even admit that.
It's because he knows it's true, but admitting it is admitting that you're selling Disney stuff. But his whole
admitting that is admitting that you have a preference. you know, but at least it's out there. At least you've admitted it and you're not just falsifying stuff, you know? You're not just lying,
Yeah,
you
but
know?
he, like you stated, he wants the perception of being a George Lucas like advocate while
Yeah.
benefiting off of Disney stuff. Then that's when he agreed that Kathleen Kennedy leaving wouldn't change anything, but he's also out there saying who should be replacing her, aka Dave Filoni, Jon Favreau, who made some of the worst Disney Star Wars stuff, and Stuart Beattie, who created Reva he basically wrote the Kenobi show, which is arguably worse than the sequels. So,
Mm.
and again, flip flopping. He admitted to. Oh yeah, and then next is when he admits that he researched using Wikipedia to make lore content instead of reading the material. We talked a
Oh
bit
yeah, I'm
about
gonna go
that.
into that later as well.
Say that again.
I'm gonna go into that later as well.
Okay. But yeah, I think that theory just assumes people see his sub count and then they paint him a certain way, other than just realizing that it's like his actions and his words that like rub people the wrong way.
Yeah. And then he had
like
also made the point in regards to it as well. He was like saying like, okay, so with him selling the sabers, right? He was saying, would you rather see Disney getting that money for the sabers rather than it going to somebody who can use that money to support George Lucas Star Wars? And it was like, yes, I would
yeah,
rather
let
see
them do
Disney
it.
get the money for Disney things rather than George Lucas supporters using money from Disney stuff, because then
Yeah.
guess you're not really a George Lucas supporter, you
Yeah,
know?
and then it was we spoke a bit about it. That means that he's aware that a lot of his audience do like that stuff. Otherwise, he wouldn't be selling it.
Yeah, it's almost like he's doing just enough to like be able to say that he likes George Lucas Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like he's just doing just enough to be able to get away with saying that. Because he doesn't read. He doesn't do I mean, I like George Lucas Star Wars and I don't read, but I'm not on a major channel. I'm
Well,
not
you read, you
putting
just
that
don't read EU. Yeah.
I'm not on I don't have my own major channel. I'm not building my life off of this reputation. You know? There's a
Yeah.
difference.
I just want to point out that you read the Britney Spears book and annotated it. So this channel also has Britney Spears lore for anyone that's interested in Britney Spears lore.
Where? No,
You
it
read
doesn't.
What are you talking about?
You
You're
saying
the lore. You're the Britney Spears lore expert.
Oh, yes, with Britney Spears, yes. I thought you were saying there's Britney Spears in the books because you were trying to get me to read them or something.
Well, that's like a weird fanboy like casting. Who could Who could Britney Spears be in the EU? Let us know. Maybe Tenny-Old Joe from Courtship. She's one of the Night Sister. Yeah, Night Sisters.
He was wait, what
Do
is
the
Purist saying?
Spice Girls, and then Tim will watch the heck out of it. The spicing. Spice Girls lore.
He was conflating profits with redirection of those profits to reinvest into something else. Yeah. It was he was saying like I take that money and I what was he saying? I reinvest it over into this. So I don't even get to even really see that money. It's mostly going over to this film.
Well,
And
he says he doesn't profit off it, and it's like,
yeah.
well, that's because the profit goes into your fan film.
Yeah. So in essence, you are profiting off of it because you're getting to make a dream. You know? Not everybody gets to fund their dream. Yeah. So you are profiting off of it.
Mm-hmm. Then let's see.
I don't make anything from the sabers.
And then that's when I think Purist started talking about the new Jedi Order series. I know you saw my last stream. I was talking about that series. But Theory said that he doesn't think it's boring. But there's evidence. There's footage of him saying like it's really boring. He doesn't want to cover it on his channel. And then Purist actually straight up says to him like, cover real Star Wars, give up Disney, and come help. He actually asks him to come help gatekeep basically. But the problem is Theory already thinks he's doing that. And it's like I'm saying, there's like a real disconnect there. He thinks he's honoring George when he isn't. And the point Purist always drives home is that like I was saying, Star Wars is epic. It's supposed to be really epic. You're not meant to it's not meant to be dreary and like you can't be bothered talking about it. It's whatever. It's not a case of like, oh, this show isn't as good, but it's not as bad as the last thing. So like, it's as good as we're going to get, and I'll take it, kind of thing. It's this whole thing of just like consuming for the sake of it, and like I'm guilty of that. I was watching the stuff, consuming it, and it's like I could have been reading the good stuff, just hadn't given it a chance yet.
Stuff.
Say that again.
There's nothing wrong with watching the stuff.
No, there's not. But my issue is when people are telling you that it's trash and that it's not real Star Wars, but then they're out there giving it 7s out of 10s. And
well, I think the only thing, like, if somebody can rate it good, somebody can do whatever they want. They can have a preference. But when they're saying that they're watching it because there isn't any other lore, or there isn't anything that they can go off of other than that, like there is actual sources that they could go to. It just doesn't. It's not always in movie form.
Exactly. And then we're almost done with this page. Let's see. And that's when Theory basically said that he can't be overly negative because his audience wants his reaction, and he doesn't think. So he thinks if so if he doesn't think something's up to scratch, but he's saying, oh, it was okay, I guess, like it's a disingenuous reaction, and like people like to see a genuine reaction, even if you are being negative. But at that point, why are you watching this stuff? Like, what's the point?
Well, yeah, I mean, that just comes back to the whole fact of being genuine. Are you being genuine with your audience, or are you putting on a mask?
Yeah, and then that's where you get the people telling you how authentic they are, which is a red flag for me.
Well, that's the thing. People aren't stupid. People can see when somebody's not being authentic, right? So that's why I think when it comes to some of Theory's stuff, people can immediately spot he's not being authentic.
Yeah. Do you want to read Dan Blackrod's comment?
Avert your eyes from the Disney Plus material. It's harmful to the singular saga. I know! The one and only movie. And to think, they came out with episode 2, 3, and 4.
Say that again? I didn't follow that.
Because there's only one movie. So the series they came out with was 2, 3, and 4.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he called his number 1 because it was the only one.
The one and only, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, William. You're a clever man.
William, I thought you were better than this.
What? Are you advocating Disney Plus on my channel? Because Wait, where's the clip? That's the case.
Oh, gosh.
You can bounce. You can bounce. You can bounce.
You can freaking bounce.
And then this was a Theory on Purist stream.
Losing his mind. And I'm reaping all the benefits.
Or should I say that was Purist? And I'm reaping all
Disney
the
Plus
benefits.
has more things than Star Wars. And it's not like it's Star Wars Theory. The money that you're putting towards your subscription isn't solely going into Star Wars.
I guess, but if you're paying for it, you're like that platform was it was kicked off with The Mandalorian, wasn't it? And it's legit like a failing platform. I'm pretty sure they don't.
Yeah, they don't make
money.
enough money off of it.
And it's all like older content or content they've bought. Like Disney are not interested in making the next Star Wars. They just want to buy the next Star Wars and profit off of it.
What do you mean? Wait, sorry. What do you mean?
Disney they're not interested in creating something as great as Star Wars. They want to buy the next great thing.
Oh, yeah.
Whereas they used to make good stuff. But even then, it was like old fairy tales and stuff they were taking.
Because their glory days are over. The best of Disney is behind us. Wedding Singer.
Yeah, great movie.
I love The Wedding Singer, yeah.
It's like the Crystal Skull, the one and only Indiana Jones movie. They keep trying to ruin it. I don't know if I can agree with you on that one, Dan Blackroyd.
Crystal Skull.
I remember. Right, here's a story. So like, the Crystal Skull came out at the same time as the first Iron Man movie. So me and my twin brother went to the movies. We were pretty young at the time, and then we had to like decide which movie to see. And he was like, "Oh, we have to see Iron Man. It's leaving cinema in a couple of days. We have to see Iron Man." And I was like, "No, like we really have to see Indiana Jones and the Crystal Skull." And he's like, "Right, we'll see that one then." And then it was what it was, and like he's never like forgiven me for it. He's like, I had my chance to see Iron Man in the theater and I missed it for the Crystal Skull.
I actually liked it.
Oh, hey, Ezra's Junkyard in chat. He says, "Hey, Skran and Mrs Skran, I'm here but not active in the chat. Just so you know, I'm still here supporting." Oh, cheers, Ezra.
Ezra! I love Ezra.
I love Ezra's streams. They're so chill. And he's been playing Jedi. Sorry, Ezra. Which one was it? Was it Jedi Academy you've been playing, or Jedi Outcast? I think it was Outcast he's been playing. The real Kyle Katarn. Which you should be playing the Phantom Menace. I don't know what you're doing, thinking you can go around playing other video games apart from that. Sacrilege. Let's see. And then
I thought it was quite funny when it came to Theory when he was talking about research, right? So he was really iffy throughout the whole thing. He would bring up research and talking about
it's
the
the worst intuition ever to pick Crystal Skull over Iron Man. Yep, I agree.
When it came to Theory with the video, and he would talk about research, and he had brought it up several times, like, "Oh, I do the research, I make sure I research, I check on the quality, I do all this." And then you have moments where it's like, you're reading off of Wikipedia.
Yeah.
You're talking about how Purist, you admitted, is more fact-based and does a lot of his check through the lore, and he has to check through all this facts and stuff like that, whereas you're more memory-based, which is basically, let's check. You haven't really done anything, so we haven't got much of a memory with that. Other than if your memory is based off of Wikipedia as well. So doesn't really check out, especially when you have a bigger fan base. You would think that you would try to have, for the fans' sake as well, you would try to make sure that you're doing your research. Like, if you're not doing that now, you should probably start, because it'll improve. Like, it'll improve the quality of your videos.
Oh, exactly. Or at least, like Purist was saying, that like if you're misquoting things or representing something by mistake, like on the next, like I did it with when I was talking to Ezra about Coruscant, I said something about it only having appeared in the books before, whereas it actually did appear in the Dark Forces video games. So like the next stream, I like corrected myself. You know what I mean? Because we're out there calling people out for misrepresenting lore, so you got to hold yourself to that same standard.
Yeah, and just going back to that as well, even if you don't have the memory or the knowledge to be able to talk about something on a stream, you don't have to bring someone on your stream who does have that knowledge.
Yeah.
So there's really no excuse for not being able to present that kind of that level of that higher quality on your stream. Even if it's not coming from you, you can bring someone else into the picture.
And then let's see.
Oh, did you see Ezra replied?
Yeah, I read it. Yeah, it's funny.
Okay.
And then where did we get to? I keep taking my specs off and going blind.
Your spectacles.
Spectacles, yeah. So
Should I say a thought, or are you trying to gather yours?
oh yeah, sure. Sorry, dead air.
at the end of the stream, they started talking about how George Lucas might have approved or was rumored by a more trustworthy source, supposedly. Like he was saying, I know that we're going off of trust me, bro, kind of thing.
Oh, about sequels.
Hershey,
Yeah.
what is his name? Hirsch? I don't know, Hershey, something.
Paul Hirsch, I think.
Something like that. He had worked with George on episode 1 or episode 2 or something, and it was rumored that George had approved and was in production of episode 7, or that he had even just approved for more films, right?
Yeah.
But I really, when I was watching it all go down with like the information between him and Purist, like talking about it, it was like, okay, so sorry, why does this matter? Like, we don't have the film. They didn't go through.
It's this thing where like they take pieces of information and they apply it somewhere where it doesn't belong. So like back in the 80s, George talked about, well, even earlier, George talked about making 12 movies.
Right.
And then it was just through the course of developing the story, he managed to tell his story in 6 movies. So like, but then they'll say like the plan was for him to do all of them, and then when he was making the Underworld show, they'll use that time frame to say he was secretly making sequels and stuff. It's that fanboy mentality again.
It's like, let's say, crazy situation, he was in the production of episode 7 and it didn't work out. Why does that matter? It never got released. Exactly.
It doesn't count. It was never made. Or like
it's like we're never going to see that.
Yeah, and they'll talk about George's ideas for sequels. Like he always said he would never make them, but he came up with ideas and they were never made. And they're like, if he made sequels, he would have nuked the EU. And it's like, well, he didn't. And even when he was around, he didn't really do much that interfered with it. And if there was, that's where retcons came in to make it all fit.
Yeah.
But yeah, Purist made a really good point. He said, even if you personally aren't into the EU, when you talk about it on to your large audience, at least be fair and elevate it instead of just saying it's boring or it doesn't count because George hated it. And then he brings up Theory's Disney fan base, but he rejects that again. But if you've ever interacted with people on Theory's channel, right, they're always hyped for the next show to come out. You know, and buying Disney sabers and saying that they like love everything Filoni does. But yeah, basically like give the same motivation to the EU as you do to Disney Wars. Oh, and then after that, they talk about the Legends Con 2 thing, which was the Comic Con that got cancelled. Remember I spoke to you about it? It was like an expanded universe con that was like it had no affiliation with Disney.
Yeah.
And then the idea, obviously, it's not Theory's obligation to like do anything about that. But like if he was all about like George Lucas Star Wars, he would have actively been promoting that and like
I
helping
don't think
sell
he knew
tickets
of
and
it.
stuff. He did know about it because
He was
Tim from
saying,
United Spacers Alliance super chatted him and said, basically, put your money where your mouth is. Like, come here and like sell your sabers. I don't care, but like, if you're all about George, basically, you should be here and you should be helping out.
I think he did apologize for that on stream. Because I
No, he
think
didn't.
when it came to Purist,
No,
you
he
talking
didn't.
about that, like he had admitted, yeah, I could have done more.
No, he said, I see what you're saying. He didn't realize
Yeah.
it had been cancelled until like near the end of the stream.
Yeah.
And then this was around the time that, because that Comic Con was going to be in Texas, and I guess that's the general area Purist is from. And then this is kind of around the time Theory started trying to be more friendly and stuff like that. Because I think this whole stream was a way for Theory to kind of try and manipulate it to a point where Purist can't expose him anymore. You know what I mean? Like the nice guy act kind of thing.
Well, I mean, here's the thing. He originally offered to do it privately with him. A manipulator, I don't think would actively try to do it privately. Unless they wanted the option to say, hey, I did try to do this privately with you.
Yeah.
But, I mean, he did offer to do it privately.
Yeah, but then what would have been said? Like, anything could have been said. If it's
Yeah,
out in
which
the
is why
open.
he wanted somebody being there as a mediator. Just
Yeah, I
depends
guess
on how
so.
much you trust the mediator, I guess.
I just thought it was a bit strange how friendly he started getting towards this portion of it. And then I just want to say, if Purist is still in chat, when I move to America, I will not be tucking my jeans into my boots. Just so you know. I'm a country boy. So, dude, that's good. I can't wait to move to America just so I can unironically wear my cowboy boots. Because, like, ever since I was a kid, I wanted to be Woody from Toy Story. And then when I got older, I wanted to be Clint Eastwood. So,
Just because there is somebody in the Narrow Dark was saying a manipulator would absolutely want to get someone alone. I think that is definitely true, but I think with being live, there are more pressures that somebody could use to manipulate a situation.
wait. Why is it not clicking the one I'm trying to click on? He's a manipulator. He tried to push Justin around and it didn't work. Yeah, that's kind of what I thought. He came in trying to throw his weight around and it didn't work, basically.
I feel like, I mean, let's be honest, they both didn't know each other, honestly. I mean, well, at least I don't think Theory really knew Purist's personality, possibly.
Yeah.
But when it came to actually confronting each other on the actual live, I think it was in the beginning, it was more or less like, all right, where do we stand with each other right now? What are we gonna like? How are we gonna interact with each other?
To give Theory some props, like he did come on to a stream where, like yeah, Purist has been exposing him and calling him out, but none of it was like lies either. It was all true, like proven stuff. But it can't be easy going onto someone's stream that's been calling you out. Plus, like everyone in the comments probably agrees with them. You know what I mean? So like, props to him. But he did like he even like it was the whole thing was Theory came into his chat during a live stream and was like, "Here's the link. I know you've been wanting it," kind of taunting them and stuff like that. Purist never asked to go on his stream. It was Theory's moderators that said, "Oh, you should let him on," basically. And then he
Okay, so
said, "Yeah."
just to get the record straight then, has Purist ever been in his chat saying, put me on, put me on?
No, it was that one time when the moderators asked for him to go on, and he said, "Sure, put me on." And then
It was only one time.
yeah, and then Theory and his co-hosts were like laughing at him, like, "Oh, you're not going to get on acting like that, and you're just trying to get."
So he never asked him, here, come on a stream with me, come on a stream with me.
Well, he's offered for him to go on and cover the lore and stuff like that.
I'm
which
just saying,
he never did.
at that point in chat, in any of his lives, has he ever said?
I'm not Purist. I don't know everything that goes on.
Because I was just wondering for context in regards to that, if both sides have done the same thing.
No, like Purist doesn't go into Theory's chat like sending him links like, "Here, let's do this." Like, drop everything you're doing and come talk to me.
Yeah, again, I haven't seen any of Star Wars series recent videos.
And then basically, like Theory was at this point open to hearing what Purist like thought would benefit like him talking about on his channel, and he basically just said, like, do what you want, but when you promise to do something, follow through on it. And then he said that he's a one-man show, which isn't true, because he's got the ghostwriters, he's got editors, he's got people working for his company, he's got all this stuff. But again, he likes that perception of being like the George Lucas purist. He knows everything. He's just a normal guy like you and me. You know what I mean? He's a corporate YouTube channel that. And he even went on to say that like he feels like he's that corporate, he can't just do all the stuff he wants to do anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And then so I guess his excuse for not doing lore is he's too focused on the Saber company to fund his fan film, which he's hired Hollywood professionals to work on, who worked on Disney Star Wars, which does not honor George Lucas.
Purist responded
to jump on the stream
before previous one.
Oh, did I miss one?
Yeah.
I set him straight on that. I literally was waiting for Raging Rhino's stream to start, then heard them giving advice on the NGO novels they hadn't read, brought up ghostwriters, etc. Yeah, his mod told him to jump on. I remember that.
Okay.
So that's what happened.
Okay.
And then so he doesn't have time. I'm sort of repeating a little bits here, but he doesn't have time to read, but he has time to go to he went to Disney World. He has time to binge TV shows. He feels like his channel's too corporate. It's like a career. It stops it being fun. And he said it actually bugs him that he has ghostwriters, which I can imagine.
What was that thing? What was that thing he was talking about in the beginning, where he was like talking about Goonies? Purist, what did you say when you were talking about the Goonies? Because you had made such a good point, and I was just still waiting for it.
The point was when the Skeleton Crew came out, everyone was like, they were watching the trailer and they're like, oh, it's like Stranger Things, it's like the Goonies, it's like Stand By Me, it's like all these other movies.
Oh, yeah. So that's what
and then they're like, and then the bit where like Neil the elephant comes in and they all like laugh. They're like, oh, cute Neil. And it was kind of like they all had a script. All these shill reaction channels had a script.
No, I think he was saying that this is what Theory was saying.
Yeah, and then so that's what all the shills were saying in their reactions. And then you watch Theory's video and he hits all the same beats. He says all the same phrases. And then Theory actually laughed at it because he knew it was true. And then that's where the idea of like paid opposition comes in, you know?
He had said that about the Goonies thing and about what his reaction was, and he had said that, and then sorry, I got distracted by the comment coming up.
Sorry.
What was I gonna say? No, you're fine. Wait. Sorry. Sorry. I completely blanked out.
I thought you were taking notes.
I finished my notes. What are you talking about?
You're done with them?
Yeah, we went through the whole stream. Now we're just going back. So I had, when he had brought up the thing with the Goonies, I was waiting to see Theory's response to that. And then I was like so looking forward to it. But I think Purist got so caught up in the moment and got so excited, like, I don't know, excited or like was just off on his own kind of tangent about this thing.
Yeah,
And
he
it
has.
progressed. He kind of went past that point, talking about something else. And
He
in my head, I
has
was like,
said
wait,
that.
wait,
Like
wait. Let's go back. Let's go back. Let's go back. I really want to hear his reply to that.
he has said that on his recent stream that like in the moment, like he went back and rewatched it, and there was points where he wishes he'd said such and such. Like I know you were hoping that he'd talk a bit more about the ghostwriters, but it did kind of go straight into like the.
It was brought up a couple times though.
Yeah, but it went more no, because you were actively watching it. Like get back to the ghostwriter, get back to the ghostwriter.
Yeah.
But then they were talking about the sabers for quite a long time, and I don't think
He
they went
did
back
talk.
to it.
I will say he did talk about the ghostwriters thing, but
Well, that-
he never definitively answered things. He was just talking about how he doesn't have the time, and he did want to get the correct facts done. He wanted to make sure that the facts that he was presenting were like researched and they were done. But at the same time, you're trying to come off as a genuine and authentic person. It's not going to come off if you're using other people's material.
Yeah, exactly. And
So-
you can take influence from things. Just say
Just
where
admit
you
it.
got it. Yeah.
You know, take ownership of that, you know, and he takes ownership of the fact that he's got ghostwriters. Yes. But like
Yeah, but he
take ownership
wasn't.
of the
He
fact
hadn't
that
been.
he hadn't been.
He hadn't been until he got exposed for it.
But like the thing that kicks me in the butt is that it's like, all right, so you hire these ghostwriters when you could just you collaborate with all these other people, you bring all these other people that you're used to on your stream. What's such a big deal with actually bringing real people that have real lore content onto your stream and can talk about this, and you don't have to pay a ghostwriter? These people will come on for free.
Yeah,
They will
because
come on for free.
it would give them a chance to plug their channels. Plus, you would be getting free like experts, I guess, to talk about real Star Wars for you, and plus you'd learn a little along the way. Let's see. So we're almost at the end of this here. So Theory at this point, still there's still that disconnect. He thinks that he's doing a really good job showing that Disney Star Wars isn't real Star Wars, but then Purist pointed out that he's still out there saying things like Skeleton Crew's good and it doesn't break lore. And he's basically just doing, like we were talking about, saying the same things that the shells do, because he doesn't know the lore, so he doesn't know when it's being broken, and neither do his fans, basically.
Well, yeah, his fans are just as informed on it as he is, because he's only attracting people with minimal, like, actual intelligence on the fact of it, you know, because the people who are only watching the videos are the people who aren't going to be up to date with the lore, so they don't know what to expect either.
Yeah, and then so talking about lore, Purist, he brings it up a couple times. He talks about the original canon, and then Theory doesn't actually debate him on that either, which is strange because he's been out. He's like, I get the sense that Theory's pretty agreeable, and his opinions change depending on who he's talking to. I think I already mentioned that, but he's been out there saying that George Lucas wasn't involved and that it wasn't canon. Only the movies and Clone Wars are canon, which isn't. It's false. But then when Purist is talking about it, he doesn't like fight back on it. It's like, yeah, sure, I know. I don't understand that.
He never gave clear answers to things. Like okay, let me rephrase that. So he provided receipts sometimes to certain things, and he'd be like, let me lay out all this information to you. So I'll lay out this, this, and this, and this. But the things that he was laying out, this, and this, doesn't directly answer the question. It just provides a little bit more background on it.
Yeah,
it doesn't
sure.
actually answer the question.
And then this was the point in the stream where we already talked about it. That it was about the Disney hilts versus the EU hilts. It doesn't. He's, what was that? He's all for George Lucas, but he doesn't understand why that's hypocritical. It's like, I don't know if he's being disingenuous or he just does not understand why that doesn't make sense that he picked Disney sabers over EU ones. And then Purist pointed out that Theory claims not to have a Disney audience, so why would he feel the need to sell the Disney sabers? Yeah, we talked about that. So let's move on.
Yeah, like, he's saying that he doesn't have a Disney audience. Now, either your prices are the best in town, and nobody else has the choice but to go to your website.
That's the opposite. Is the thing. He's
Well, what he's saying is
doubling, tripling the prices.
He said in the stream, my prices are the cheapest among the creators.
No, he didn't.
He did. He mentioned in the
say
stream that his prices are the cheapest that you can make them.
I don't know about that. His are very expensive, and he says it's because of what he puts in them.
He said
no, you can get. It's not true. You can get them cheaper elsewhere, but he's claiming that his are better, basically.
He's saying that basically what he's offering is he's not offering the same sound bites as other people.
Yeah,
now,
you can go straight to the
could,
source. You can go straight to THQ and buy the saber cheaper.
But he's saying at the same time it could be cheaper, but you have to pay for each sound separately, and that's like $10 a pop.
Yeah, he's selling it for more than what he's getting it for.
I know. So what he was saying was, what you're paying for basically at that point.
Are you saying he says it's the best price?
The best price, yeah. The best price among them. And he was saying his price, if he does have it to be, if it is higher than the actual original retailers, because you're the distributor, or whatever, it's because you're paying for the experience. And in my head, I'm like, I don't really care about the experience. I just want the item.
Where was it? What was the company you got mine for? Was it this Galaxy Sabers?
They're Galaxy Sabers, yeah. They're based in the UK though. They're
not China Sabers.
No, they're based in the UK.
So they're not made in America, guys. Sorry.
Don't quote me on that. I don't know where they get theirs. I don't know if they're just like a distributor or something.
The one you got me is pretty cool. It's one of the Revan sabers.
Darth Revan, yeah. I thought, just because I was looking at them and I didn't want something that like.
I like how simplistic it is.
Simplistic, yeah. Simplistic. I wanted it to be all metal like mine, and not to have any black pieces or anything that you could be like, I don't really like that. That looks a bit ugly. So I just wanted to go with simplistic.
The best prices like Watto. It's tough running a business. Did they accept Republic credits when you tried to buy the saber?
Sorry, say that again?
Did they accept Republic credits as payment?
No, because they're in the Outer Rim.
So credits are no good out there, only money.
Credits are no good out there.
We got there eventually. Right, let's see. So, Theory said he feels the only way to make a difference is to make the fan film. Oh, yeah, you talked about that. Yeah, the ship's sailed. It's really not a case of cleaning house anymore. They've destroyed everything they've made has to be destroyed, basically. Credits will do fine.
What do you think? You're some sort of Jedi?
Hey, you do a good Watto. Can you do a good Boss Nass?
No, I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that on live.
Can
you?
So then, say that again.
Can you do a good Boss Nass on live?
I'm not doing that. That's why I was trying to get you to do it. So then, still on the canon thing, Theory, he agrees that everything made under George was canon, and that canon is established, not dictated, but still thinks Disney can turn it around, which doesn't make sense. Again, it's like that penny hasn't dropped for him yet. He's agreeing, but not connecting that logic.
Yeah.
he says he's more of a fan fiction guy. He wants to see cool stuff, which doesn't serve the story. It's just, it's that idea of it's cool in the moment, but later on it just doesn't fit. Do the head shake at boss.
Yeah, the chat is still stuck on the boss Nass.
Guys, we're past the boss Nass thing, all right? Oh my gosh, I didn't mean to highlight that. Oof.
Scram.
If
What did
Purist
we
isn't,
say, Purist? This is family friendly.
if he's no swearing, he's finding some way to be
Goodness
inappropriate.
gracious, we might have to take you off the mod list.
Oh heck no! He's the second best mod in the business, apart from Soul Assassin.
Hey, listen, if he can't keep it clean, we might have to take him off the mod list.
I PG for parental guidance. My parents aren't here tonight.
Your parents aren't here.
I said tonight, like I just live at my mum and dad's house.
Yep.
In the basement dweller. We're getting through this, guys. He just wants to see cool stuff.
Ooh.
And then not Theory, Purist actually showed Theory that clip of Matthew Stover, the author, saying that everything published was canon.
Yeah.
And he also showed him the clip of Michael Stackpole saying that anyone saying that it wasn't canon is incorrect.
Yeah, talking about how they're always doing those on the Disney channels. They're not ever doing it on the...
That's right. Like, the Disney shell channels are the place to find those sources, because they, pardon me, get all the access.
Yep.
And then... so Theory asks what he needs to do to be seen as genuine. So he really... It's that need to be, like, accepted. Which I guess everyone has, but, like, not everyone... You're not going to please everyone.
Yeah.
Purist says very abruptly, he's like, denounce Disney, cover George Lucas era, and stop selling Disney character sabers. And then, so Theory's excuse is that then you already mentioned this, that other companies would benefit from selling them.
Yeah.
But it's like, so what? Like, you sell the good stuff. Like, people will buy the real Star Wars stuff.
Well, like, you can't say that you don't want to be just like any other creator out there slapping your name on something you don't support, and then you're slapping your name on something you don't support, or, you know, like, you're so big on quality. Yeah. And these could be the best sabers in the world, but they have to be the best sabers to you, right? If you're finding these are the best quality, the best sabers, you have to find that you agree with those as well. So you're saying that you agree with Disney character lightsabers? Like,
so then, if you...
It's a bit conflicting.
Yeah, if just stick to your principles. If you say you're for George and you're against Disney, just stay clear of the Disney stuff. Don't push it. And then Theory's convinced after... Oh, that was the thing about this. You already talked about that with the sequels and stuff. There's a lot of people that worked for George that they act like they're like inside sources, but they don't actually. Like, a lot of them are disgruntled employees that George didn't want to work with anymore. That act like they just trash his name and stuff like that. Or a lot of these guys, they're like older guys, and I remember one of Theory's streams, I think it might have been the dude that created the lightsaber, and he was like, oh, I'm pretty sure George is coming back to, like, make another one or something, and Theory's like, whoa, really? Like, what? And it's like, no, that's a rumor that this guy's heard on the internet. He's just repeating it. You know what I mean? It's not true. But again, the fanboy mentality, they just like to pounce on things and get hype going. George had a lot more energy when we made the Phantom Menace together. I bet.
Dan Blackwhite, I think we need to get an update as to whether or not you've actually watched any more Simpsons episodes, or if you're still stuck in seasons 1 through 10.
Well, he's seen up to, and I don't know if including season 15. I don't want to see any quotes after season 15, or I'll know. Because he only owns the DVDs up to season 9 or 10. So I'll know that he's using Disney Plus. And he'll be getting exposed on the next Disney lore stream. Hey, maybe you could be on the next one we have him on to talk about Simpsons. We can't just talk about Simpsons the whole thing.
I think that a person who wears a Duff Moo doesn't really care about decency.
I don't want to look
or
like
how
a freak.
they appear.
I'll just go with the moo.
And
that's such a good episode,
by
the way. That's such a good episode.
That is a good episode.
Let's see. Yep.
I'd like to see how long that Purist can go without swearing.
Is the very next comment. He likes to push buttons.
Yeah, so do I. I mean, I've got
Nasal.
control as well of the mods, so.
You're just enticing him.
No, I mean, if it's a challenge, I can fix things up.
So, yeah, I wanted to make a point on the thing about sequels. So, like, George knew he wouldn't have had time to make the sequels when he was making the prequels. He would have been too old. And that's why he commissioned and helped develop the New Jedi Order, because even as late as, I think it was 2012, 2013 was when he did that interview, and he said that the original saga is about the father, the children, and the grandchildren. So he's obviously referencing his time working on that series. Wait, what did I miss?
Sorry, he was asking if he can swear in Arabic.
It's Homer's moo with the flowers I have, the Duff t-shirt, yes.
Oh yeah, I had to be specific with the details there.
Curse in Star Wars. What father? Anakin. But it's just fan fiction, Dan Blackrod. Anakin's the father, and we can just assume that he grows up to be a really good Jedi and he gets with Padme, right? And then that nice guy, what's his name, Palpatine, I think he should become senator or chancellor. That'd be cool. He's a really nice guy with good intentions.
Yeah.
And so that brings us to that. And then they talked a little bit about how George actually intended for Disney to use that source material, which they chucked out the window, basically. And they promised they would, right? In that documentary I made, I call it a documentary, it's just a really long video. Wait, what was my point? So there was someone in the comments saying that, like, it wasn't in the contract, so like you're being a child and like you need to grow up. Like, they didn't have to use George's treatments and stuff. And I was like, yeah, that's not my point. They betrayed his trust. Like, he trusted them to honor his creation, and it's true. He should have had it put in the contract that they had to follow it, but they didn't. And that's maybe his mistake. But they, even in all those interviews, they promised that they would honor what they'd agreed. And they didn't. So they did. He was betrayed by his friends that he trusted. And then they went on to say that they didn't have source material. And I shared all those clips like a good few times to get the point across that it was very much stated that they had all this stuff they could use. Yeah, there's Andrew.
All the sources, yeah.
I
just feel like when it comes to that whole he was betrayed by his friends kind of thing, I feel like he's not like 20.
No, but he was too trusting.
Selling it to a major corporation.
Yeah, but the thing that happened was Bob Iger, who ran Disney, he did like a private breakfast with George, and he was basically like, "Oh, yeah. you're getting old. You're going to want to like sell let your
I get it.
legacy
He
live
sweetened
on.
the deal. I
He
mean,
did,
but
he
like at the
sweetened them
same
up.
time,
And this is a guy that helped George out with his Indiana Jones TV show when no one else wanted it. Like he did. He was like a wee snake, I think. And then
I just
George
feel like
George was making his TV show and it didn't work out. Purist did a stream about it. It was like his neighbours at Skywalker Ranch and stuff didn't want him to build new premises. And then he was just like, right, I was going to sell it then because I can't really do what I want to do type thing. George was suddenly senile and needed to get through all the seasons of Matlock. All worked out. We don't talk bad about George Lucas on this channel, but that's pretty funny.
I think either one or two things happened, okay? I think either George is old, he had a lot on his mind, especially with having to keep up with all of the canon, and he couldn't do it anymore. So
Yeah.
he was like, he got a bit sweetened up with it, and he didn't fully, what's it called? He didn't fully acknowledge certain things that he, I don't know. He missed certain points that he would later regret. Or that he was too trusting and that he ended up being
trusted Dave
betrayed.
Filoni to like.
I just think it's like it's such a big like title. George betrayed by friends. You know, like it's like
That's
it's
not
like
what I
such
said.
No. I'm just saying this is what other people have said as well. You know, and it's like, yeah, I mean, him and Dave Filoni as well. They were, I don't know if they would even consider themselves as friends. They were just work partners. And I think a lot of the people that he worked with were just work partners.
They've actively said that like they're friends. They have a great relationship and stuff like that. They've worked together for like decades.
I just think he can't be that stupid when it comes to selling something to such a major corporation.
And even in because Theory brought it up that he said he read it, but he doesn't read, so he must have listened to the audiobook version that I stole from OG Star Wars, or she shared with me. Nah, I probably stole it. And then talk about cite your sources. OG Star Wars is where I get all my sources. And then, so he actually says in there that George felt betrayed and that he was disappointed and that they didn't use the stories. But then he says that they made it clear that they didn't have to use it. But then in all these other interviews, they're saying that they're promising that they will. And a promise is a promise. I don't care if it's written down. You promise to do something, you do it. And that goes for Star Wars Theory as well. If you promise to put out 2 lore videos every day, you should probably do it. Or your promises won't be worth anything. Right, we've got one more kind of half page of notes to go through. You ready?
Half page?
Yeah.
How many notes do you have on this?
I went through the whole stream and I split it up into 7 sections. So we're on the last section.
Get through this, okay?
You know having fun.
Oh, I'm having fun. I feel like I've already not been through all of my points. I don't.
You've
like
said
that.
What you need to say. Yeah.
No, because you were just saying get all your points out, and I'll try to do it in timeline with you. So I thought we were already on the same thing, but now we're backtracking. So I'm just trying to go back to that.
Wait, let's see what this says. Soul Assassin says, "Can you all imagine OG doing a sit down with Theory? Oh man, that'd be insane." I can finally quote Kenobi. You were right about one thing, Master. The negotiations were short. Oh yeah, that stream would be over. Because she's the boogeyman. Theory would get triggered. Let's see. So, this is where I had an issue with it, right? Purist, because my name popped up on the screen, and then Star Wars Theory's like, "Sup, Skran." So like I assume he knows who I am because I was correcting him on stuff.
I saw that.
And then I was saying. I say that like he blocked me from his chat and stuff. It was thinking about it. It was probably one of his mods or something like that did it.
Yeah.
But then it wasn't because of live chats. It was comments under his videos about like things he was saying wrong and stuff. So I assume that would have been him, but I don't know. But then Purist said that I used he's like, oh, Scran used to follow Disney and we got him out of the Disney Matrix, which is true. I just wanted to get a bit of context in there. Like, yeah, I used to follow it, but I wasn't a fan of it. I want to make that clear. I followed it to stay clued up, and I'll be quiet. And
I've got photographic evidence that says otherwise.
Sure. Yeah, I followed it to stay clued up and to out of morbid curiosity, basically. And yes, before you say it, I did like The Mandalorian at first until I learned the real lore, and I've said that before. So at least I'm consistent, a consistent shill. And let's see. That's all. I just wanted to get some context in there. But I am indebted to channels like OG Star Wars and even Purist at this point, sharing the true lore and get reinvigorating my love for Star Wars, definitely. And I was a fan of Theory's channel as well, but I unsubbed because it was after the Ahsoka show. It's that stupid episode where Anakin turns up in the World Between Worlds, and then Theory said straight up, it was like, if you don't like that, I seriously question your allegiance to George Lucas. And he's like, what more do you want? And I'm like, are you being serious? Like, that is, it does not honor George Lucas. It actually does more damage to his story and his characters. Sorry, Scran, I had been streaming for 6 hours. Nah, no worries, man. Oh, and then he calls me a shell. You should have just called me a shell right out. It was just because Theory was shocked. He was like, really? That guy likes Disney Star Wars? No, I do not like Disney Star Wars. What?
Nothing. It's just, I've got photographic evidence that says otherwise.
And then, let's see. That was that point. He'd been streaming for 4 hours before this happened. So he's having a debate Theory for 2 hours after that, which is commendable. Exposed. I get exposed every stream. It's nothing new.
Damn, Blackroyd. Yeah, that's not the only thing we own. We own more than a baby Grogu.
Oh, you've got that Porg. That's got nothing to do with me.
That actually is everything.
In fact, none of them had anything to do with me. That's your family giving these things over.
That's a different talk for a different time. That's a different talk for after.
Oh, yeah, you're going to get exposed because I'm going to reveal the truth about that. Skeleton Crew feels like Goonies, rich man. What?
Sorry? Truth about what?
You're a Disney shill.
Okay, I am neither shill.
You are?
Nor...
You were named after a porg. I know, I better be careful, Dan Blackroyd, because the lies would just
I know, right?
up.
I could easily pull up the photo. I could easily
I said I liked The Mandalorian. What else am I supposed to say? It's embarrassing.
Trust me, the photo has more detrimental stuff in it.
Sure. And then... Right, we've got a couple more sentences here. Can you try not to expose me before we're done?
Yeah, sure. Porks are not evil.
Yes,
they
are.
Delicious. Porks are not evil. They're adorable.
Right, we are not talking... Right, putting my foot down here. We are not talking about Disney Star Wars on this channel.
You're putting your foot down.
Do you understand? No more Disney Star Wars speak. Or you're no be invited back, alright?
Wait, I'm trying to think of a joke for that. Wait,
That's not a joke. I'm being deadly serious.
Wait, I'm trying to think of a joke for that. Wait, so you put your foot down. Oh, I'm so bad at jokes. I was gonna say only the ants could hear it.
Skran has a full Cara Dune cosplay outfit he wears off stream. Oh, she's such a strong female character that can knock a guy out wearing Beskar armor.
Yeah, that Grogu that we have is actually for the first couple years of our marriage. It was actually considered our son.
Aye, sure.
Our child.
And then you're digging yourself a hole.
You were part of that as well, and you would hold it like it was our baby.
And then, right, I'm trying to get through this. It's going to end the stream. What are people saying? Porgs taste great. Are they... Because I know they were like CGI'd over like puffins, right? TMI. Dude, I'm struggling now.
Just keep going, sentence after sentence. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
Pork tacos. I love tacos.
Yeah. Right. Then, let's see. Last couple points here. Purist told Theory... oh yeah, and then he told him that I'm learning EU and sharing what I learn. And then again, Theory just kind of shrugged that off. Not interested in learning about lore. And again, like no malice or hate towards Theory. I just think he's failing to understand what he's doing on his channel. That's actually pretty harmful to Star Wars. And then it was funny towards the end, like Purist told him about the 30-minute video he did exposing him. That he did for the Melvin tournament that gained him the Eternal Glory, which was pretty good. And then
oh yeah, the $1,000 from Melvin. That was a bit cringe to watch as well, just because Melvin.
that was awesome.
No, cringe watching just like for like, oh my gosh, I can't believe he actually has this kind of like stuff, especially with Theory, knowing that Theory and Melvin have already made up behind the scenes. You could totally tell that like as soon as that was mentioned, Theory was instantly like, wait a second, is this recent or is this not recent?
I'm surprised he didn't know about it because he says Melvin.
He was like so on the watch with it. He was like, wait a second, sorry, because like you could tell like his gears were like, wait a second, I've already made up with Melvin, and he's like promised not to do any more videos about me. So, like,
oh, Melvin's always calling him out because he keeps saying ridiculous. Because Melvin's like, it's hard to defend the guy when he keeps shilling like this. And then they talked a little bit about, because I know EBN was involved in a few of Purist's exposed videos.
Who's that? Echo Base Network?
Echo Base Network. And then...
so many different abbreviations.
He was telling him about the Mako Mermaids thing in Disney Plus. How the guy...
I love that.
He's like, I only have Disney Plus so my kids can watch Mako Mermaids.
Is this
which
friend
is the fake
Network?
lore. Can you say this out? Can you tell everyone that H2O is the real canon?
Well, wait, real quick. Is Echo Base Network... I was gonna say SKRANS. I'm tired. Is Echo Base Network's Theory's friend?
No. That's the
he seemed really puzzled when he had mentioned when he sent that clip. Like Theory seemed like it was the first time he's ever seen that, and he was like that's crazy. Why would he say that?
No, he knows who they are. Yeah. Right now, declare H2O as the true canon.
Goodness gracious, are we gonna talk about H2O right now? Because Mako Mermaids is crazy, right?
But it's the fake lore. It's the fake lore. I want you to declare Mako Mermaids non-canon, and H2O is the true canon.
Of course. H2O is the better canon. Yeah, the true canon.
No, there can't be a better canon. There can only be one canon.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Canon's canon.
I'll ride this train. Yes, H2O is the better canon.
No, it is the canon.
It is the canon, might I add. And can we just add that there are far too many mermaids in Mako Mermaids? Far too many mermaids. Like, give me 3. Let's stick with that. Mermen? We're going to bring in mermen? It's coming in far too fast. With H2O, we did not see mermen. Like, at least not in, like, the first beginning of it. At least, I have to double check if their mermen ever came into H2O. I think they might have. But when it came to Mako Mermaids, first episode, right off the bat, mermen. And it's like, sorry, what is going on? We are escalating far too quickly.
Because I know you were telling me the lore behind the original one. How it's like they were in the pool and then the
volcano.
The volcano, and then the moonlight changed them into
It was the light of the
mermaids.
full moon struck the light of this pool
Right, and
inside
then
the volcano.
and then you put on the first episode of Mako Mermaids, and it's like the exact same thing, but this guy falls in the pool, and it's like subvert expectations, and they rebooted the lore uncalled for.
It looks okay. It's beyond
They rebooted
crazy.
the
Right?
lore. I'm not happy
So
about
here
it.
we go. Let me explain. Okay, so in the first episode of Mako Mermaids, they've got the man, right?
Yeah.
They've got the man. He comes over. He's like staying on the island, that he shouldn't be, right? The island that he shouldn't be staying on, and he goes over there to go to the bathroom to go for a pee, right?
What,
Ends
in the
up
sacred
being
pool?
at the no to go for a pee right at the mountain, the base of the mountain. The full moon is out. Suddenly, the secret stone opens up on the side of the mountain. He walks in and he's like, what the heck? What's going on in here? King Neptune's trident. Sorry?
Really?
Is in the wall, right? And suddenly starts glowing. And for some reason, he's chosen. He falls down into the pool with the 3 girls inside of it. And now all of a sudden he's been deemed a merman.
It's kind of like a subversion of subverted expectations, because usually it would be like the guys replaced with the women, but they've flipped it. It's actually genius, but I'm not going to accept it as true canon.
Genius? No, sorry.
They've like Ryan Johnson with that.
It was horrible.
It's genius.
Like King, oh my gosh, like King Neptune's trident. Like how cliche can we get?
Is that part of the original H2O lore?
I've never seen that trident there before.
Oh, so they're
not even the mermaids knew about it. The mermaids were like, it just opened up from in front from like up top, and we didn't even see how it happened. It's like, this is new lore, and this ain't even real lore.
Full lore. More research required. So
I'm doing my research currently, guys. I'll get back to you.
Oh, and then we get to the finale, right? So Theory invited Purist onto his stream like anytime. He's like, you can come on, you can talk about EU, you can talk about legends, anything you want. So I've got to ask you the question. Would you lose any amount of respect for Purist if he went on Theory's channel?
No.
Why?
Because that would it depends for what reason.
It's just your opinion.
Okay, so there's different reasons. I mean, I don't really have. I'm trying to think. I haven't known these people for that long, so I'm still forming my opinion of them.
Yeah. But do you think it would be a good idea for him to go on the channel and talk about EU?
Again, it just depends on the reason. To talk about the EU, yeah, that'd be great. That would show a step in the right direction for Star Wars Theory, showing that he is trying to bring up channels that do know more about this.
But would you I guess the reservations is that like people don't maybe trust Theory and his co-hosts, or like his audience. Like I feel like his audience are there for him. They're not really there for real Star Wars, you know?
I mean, as long as the details of like why he's being added as a guest on is clear and like is made clear beforehand, everything is set up, you know, and made it like set in stone kind of thing, where when he brings him on, he explains why he's bringing him on, you know?
Yeah.
Like to the
I would also I'd also think it'd be funny if he went on and like did the expose thing like on their own channel. As like it'd be pretty funny.
What? Wait, what expose thing?
Like calls them out for like the ridiculous things they say on their own channel.
I think that would be a bad decision.
Yeah. It'd be funny.
It would be funny, but the thing is that Theory's got a bigger fan base. So it would just be carnage.
I'll turn on Skran if he doesn't invite us on his search for Atlantis. Yeah. No, the only
Because you're Milo.
yeah, manager. Yeah, I asked the question because I know there's a couple people that did say that they would lose respect for Purist if he went on.
Why? Why?
I guess like just associating with theory, I suppose. But then there's been people that
But
I've
then why
spoken
can't
to
they
that
better
are
than?
there's been people I've spoken to that are like they call EU legends or like they like some of the Disney stuff, and then like I've been told that like I shouldn't be associating with people and stuff, and I think I don't agree with that, to be honest
No.
with you. But then I'm not going to be on here like promoting Disney stuff either.
Yeah, preferences shouldn't be forced on other people as well. Like if you have a specific preference when it comes to like who you want to associate with or who you want to speak with, like it's different to have somebody else tell you, oh, you shouldn't be doing that with them.
Yeah.
You know?
Like I agree. Like I know Nara Dark doesn't think it's a good idea, and what Felix Rath is saying is true. Like I don't think they're particularly trustworthy either, and a lot of it's to do with the way his audience react when you call them out on things that are true. Like a lot of the things we've been talking about tonight, they're true. Like it's all true. But when you point it out to his fans, they turn on you. So I don't think they're interested in
Yeah, but
Purist
that's
or
the thing.
anyone. I don't think they're. Sorry, 2 seconds. I don't think they're interested. Please let me finish. This is my channel. How dare you talk over me?
Gosh.
And then so I don't think they're necessarily interested in Purist or anyone else going on there and promoting real Star Wars. I just don't think they're interested. So you had something to say?
I don't remember. I got scared.
Scared myself. Right, well, we got all the way through the stream. I think we made some good points. Well, we didn't make the points. Purist made the points. We reiterated them. Anything else to add? We've been going almost 2.5 hours. And we've had loads of legends in the chat talking to us. It's been great. Helping add to the conversation.
Yeah, I don't really have anything to report for now, except I'll update y'all with the Mako Mermaids H2O drama as I receive it. I'm currently researching.
Yeah. What does your research consist of? Consumption?
A lot of sitting, a lot of watching, a lot of eating.
A lot of thinking?
A lot of, some. Doesn't take a whole lot of thinking to watch H2O.
I mean, a lot of consumers don't really think. I mean, that's why everyone's watching Disney Star Wars.
I will say it takes less thinking to watch Mako Mermaids. My goodness. It's like meant for a younger audience. Like,
yeah.
I don't know if it's meant for a younger audience or if the kids have just gotten dumber.
But yeah, as for this channel, I suppose. Oh well, first of all, go subscribe to Purist because he did a really good job debating Star Wars theory and kind of keeping his cool under pressure, despite being on stream for so long. Yeah, it was really good. So go subscribe to him, and I guess don't subscribe to this channel. Go subscribe to the experts that actually know what they're talking about.
My name.
I'm going to do a poll unless you've decided right now.
Please do the poll, please.
Well, what were you going to... I keep butting in. What were you going to say?
What? That's what I was going to say. You're okay. That's what I was going to say.
Okay. So right after this stream, I will put up a poll with the names that she could have, and then you can vote, and then we'll see. Because it's a big deal. It's really the real reason we did this stream tonight, because we need an answer. Yeah. So as for this channel, I was going to say I've started working on research for the Wrath of Khan history of video. That would be cool. been looking forward to doing that one. And so I rewatched it a couple of nights ago to refresh my memory, and then yeah, there'll be another stream on Monday. We'll be going into chapter 11 of Shatterpoint.
Shill Point.
Shill Point, Mr. Glass. We'll probably talk about anything that's happened between now and then as well, community-wise, and we'll get an answer to you on that name. So it's all good. We had a lot of fun doing this. It was kind of last minute. We did say we'd do it on Monday at some point, but yeah, it's been fun. Thanks for giving us content to work with, Purist, at your expense, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Thanks for coming, guys.
Loved being on. Yeah.
Do you? Oh yeah, thanks for being on, Little Shell. Yeah, we're all a bunch of grifters. We just grift off of Theory's name. He grifts off of George Lucas's name. That's how it works. It's a vicious cycle.
I don't know how long you've been monetized, Purist, but congratulations on being able to get monetized. That's pretty cool.
Yeah. Oh, he deserves far many more subscribers. Oh no, Knights of Undercover's coming in late. You've just missed it, dude. It was a fun scream. Yeah, it's a fun stream.
We were screaming.
So you have to catch the replay, man. Thanks for popping in. Do you want to say the outro for us?
Saturday night. No, what am I saying?
What, the outro?
You can bounce. No, I have no idea.
Long live the EU.
Oh, and Lang May your Lums Reek.
You can bounce. You can bounce. You can bounce.
You can freaking bounce.